I know pioneers. This is mjkk613.14. Unofficial. Pi, it's mine. It's the way I see it. Right or wrong, the way I see it. There's, I mean, I don't deal with change real well. I mean, some of you may or may not know or whatever. Especially when I'm not sure what's happening with the change, whatever. And a few days ago, there's always been a debate and an issue between price and value of pi. And price is just strictly trading from the exchange. Value comes from the project. Somebody put out a new term or a different term of pi value being set using intrinsic value. And I was under a misconception or misunderstanding of what intrinsic value is. The way I interpreted intrinsic value was something tangible, real, something that you could hold on to, you could give, and that had value already, like gold or silver, gemstones, on that order. And it can be anything that holds value that physically you can trade, which isn't totally true. Intrinsic value is value creation, value created by whatever it happens. In this case, it's pi. It's value created from pi. And so I was worried about the information that I was putting out about value and all that. It was going to be way off, and I was going to be way off. And it turns out, no. I mean, we're in the ballpark and we're close enough on the same page. It's different wording, might be a different way of looking at things or different, but it comes down to the same. It comes down to value creation from pi. Okay? And another thing to keep in mind, the crypto exchanges use coin market cap, and it has this formula, and that's where supply, demand, and circulating supply and all this is coming from, is how coin market cap, the formula that they use to plug the numbers in to come out with an exchange price. Intrinsic value, the formula it uses value of what is. Then I'm not sure how it derives. I'm not sure how it derives. It's a tool used to see if what it's going for, what it's trading at, the value is higher or lower, and traders will figure out their strategy and adjust their strategy and whether to invest or not to invest at this time and that time. And they do the same thing with coin market cap. But you need to remember, both of these formulas were derived on the stock exchange and then brought into crypto and tweaked or whatever to fit crypto. So both of them are from a trading perspective, trading standpoint. And I mean, I've struggled for a long time with trading investors investing in pi, because of how I see pi and what I see out of pi and what I see out of the currency. I don't see a point of investors getting in. I mean, if there is nothing to invest in, how can they invest? I'm hearing people saying we need investors, we need this person, we need that, we need. And my opinion, no, we don't need them in pi per se. Now, to help drive the price on the exchanges, yeah, that's where I think where we want them to be, because if they want to buy, and there's nothing to buy, that creates supply and demand. And the way I'm seeing it, because I'm still under the impression, when pi goes live, only pioneers in the community will be the holders of pi. We are the only ones that have pi. So unless we put it out there, there's no pi to buy. Now, unless Core puts pi out on the exchanges, or out on the exchange, to be traded, there is no pi on the exchange. So that automatically creates automatic demand looking for supply. And the way I understand most projects, when they're ready to go live, they've already spent the 2 years or 2.5 years behind closed doors sorting it all out. The founders, the traders, they have sorted out and got it to the point that it's ready to go public. Core has built Pi different. Core launched Pi beta. They brought all the work out front. I mean, everything that's going on in Pi has been out front. Where other projects have built their blockchain and protocol and all that behind closed doors, got it to a point to where they're comfortable to go public with it. To go public with it, they usually run some kind of initial coin offering. It's gotten away from the initial coin offering and gone to an initial exchange offering. Because of all the stuff that happened before and all the fraud and everybody getting ripped up, they've been regulated that any initial coin offering needs to go through an exchange so the exchange can hold things accountable. So it's on the up and up, nobody getting scammed or whatever. Well, I think it serves a couple of purposes going through the exchange. By doing their initial coin offering through the exchange, gets the coin trading and moving. The fee that they, from selling it, provides liquidity to the exchange, plus funds to the project to keep it, to help fund it and keep it moving. Yeah, there's a lot of money that's made off of initial exchange offerings. But if you look at how they launched to the public, and look at Pi and what it's intending, we are not the public that Pi is launching to. We are part of Pi. We've been invited early to Pi, to be a part of Pi. So, the way the space works now, you do an initial coin offering, you get the coin out as far as you can, even as you can, whatever, and get the coin out, distribute it. And you get funds coming in. And all that plugs into numbers that they use to calculate price and trading volume and all that. Pi isn't taking that route. Ain't happening. There's no initial coin offering, no airdrop, nothing for Pi. So, liquidity, yes. Liquidity is needed trading on the exchange. The reason liquidity is needed at the exchange, where the coin is traded, is if something were to go south or go wrong or a hack or something, somebody is responsible for covering the cost of whatever's lost. That, to me, that's where the liquidity is needed. Pi, when it goes to exchange, will probably have, it'll need liquidity and be backed up. But where the issue is Pi's looking to be a currency. Pi's looking to be the money. How do you back money up with money? How do you back money up with money? If that's the money, that's the liquid. That is the liquidity. You're backing money up with money. Not quite. Because Pi is looking to be the money. And the way Core has built Pi, or is building Pi, the community is scaling and growing. The coin is being distributed as the community grows. The community is one of the strongest value points for pi. 25 plus million people, 236 countries around the world that hold pi. There's been no other project that has built community the same way. They all build community after. Core's going about building community. At the same time, they're building blockchain and the platform for pi, the app for pi. All those are being built at the same time. And as pi builds, so will value. Okay? So we have community of value. We have coin distributed creates value. The blockchain that is being creates value. The overall protocol, how it's designed and how it keeps things distributed and stays 100% decentralized, adds value. Then what can be written off pi adds value, and it adds a lot of value. I looked at it, all the dApps that can be written off of pi, and what is able to do is a cement that holds the foundation together. That's all value creation. And now I don't know how it gets calculated, computed, or whatever, because how I've been promoting it or talking about it or whatever is value for pi comes down to what people are willing to accept for the products that they're selling and what we're willing to give for those products. And because I struggle with this a little bit too, because everybody's on the bandwagon about regulation and all the government amendments that are coming down and what it's going to mean to crypto and what effect is going to have on crypto and pi. I haven't delved too deep into it, but enough to kind of get the gist and the understanding of what is going on. All of these amendment changes and regulations that are coming into place are targeted at the exchanges for better reporting, better like insider trading and investment, price manipulation, and all. That's where all of those amendments are targeted at. Because the U.S. government, because crypto is what it is, and people are trying to do what they do, they're claiming tax evasion and whatever, which to a point is kind of true. Because the way the U.S. taxes money earned from the exchanges is capital gains, and we are responsible for the capital gains. The exchange, depending on how it's regulated, sends a form to the government when we've made capital gains or any transaction that's within there, they automatically send the form to it. Then we get a form at the end of the year or whatever it is. Then there are exchanges that keep that information but don't send it anywhere unless requested to. And then I think there's exchanges that, I don't know what their compliance is, but it's a lot looser than the other two. But they are all regulated to get their license to be able to exchange crypto for fate or crypto for crypto or what. They are all licensed. And if they're not licensed and they're not regulated, I probably wouldn't trade on them, because who knows? I mean, if they're not regulated and overseen and audited and all that other stuff, you really want to gamble that you have your crypto, you have your fate, you have your whatever in this exchange, and they decide to close the doors, there's nothing, because they're not under any regulating body. That's just my opinion. I won't trade on an exchange that is that risky, because you could lose everything overnight. Okay. So, the government, the U.S. government, is going after capital gains. The only way capital gains can be gained is by trading the crypto for Fate or any other crypto. Pi's main goal isn't to trade on the exchanges. So Pi's also not looking to hide from government regulation or government scrutiny. Yes, we don't want them in here looking around and hanging out and whatever. I think that's also why Core or Pi won't have its own exchange. Because as soon as you look at having your own exchange, then you have to jump through more hoops to get licensed and regulated and audited and overseers, and just have too many people crawling around. So Pi's not looking to go that route. So if you're looking to trade Pi on an exchange, and I mean it's listed in a trade, and you're trading Pi on the exchange, expect it. Expect to be tagged for capital gain tag. That's what I've read from these amendments and all this that they're clamping down on. That's where they're targeting. With Pi being what it is, in the white paper, somewhere in the white paper, I forget where it is, I remember reading it, that Pi, the community, is a barter system. Now, I've struggled with that for a long time. Because how I know barter system, and the way I know barter system, you can't barter with the money. No, it doesn't work. Because if you're using, a barter system, and there are different barter systems, but primarily the barter system that most people use or work with is trading goods for goods. I have something, whatever it is, eggs, and you have oranges or whatever, and we make a trade for eggs and oranges, and we come to an agreement on how many eggs and how many oranges for. Okay. When you have money, if I value what I have one way, and you value what you have another way, and then we start bartering over a good, whether I'm buying or you're buying or whatever, because of our valuation's different, we most likely will not come to a deal on that good. Because one of us is going to want too much, or one of us thinks we're going to give too much. The value that I have on my Pi versus what I'm looking to get, it will be a hard deal to strike, and both of us will probably walk away not happy. It's a hard way to run an economy. It's a hard way. When you have to do that for every transaction that you plan on doing, it gets old, it gets tough when you're using what is the money. So, but it will, over time, let it run its course. The agreement or the acceptance of the specific value on the money it has to come to it. Because that's the only way that business is going to move forward. Now, the issue of thinking, okay, if Pi is running a barter system, unless your country had in their regulation or whatever, you have to claim every barter transaction that you do, add all that up, and then figure out what it is, and then pay the tax on that. Most places I know don't go after the barter system. They don't go after goods bartered. So that takes Pi out of that legal issue. It takes out of that. So I haven't read all of the amendments, but from what I have, they're targeting the exchanges. So as long as Pi isn't on exchange and we're trading between us and we're using it for goods and services, Pi doesn't get caught up in all that. Adds value to Pi. Okay. Now, the way I see it, and I think about it, the currency. Pi is a currency. There are a few ways to go about it, but if you look at, the way I look at it is that the pi as a whole will support whatever value pi as a currency comes up, where it will balance out somewhere. Just depends on how long one should take to get it to that balance. Because I know that there's a huge disagreement on pi value. One of the problems is the ones that have pi. If you have pi, if you believe pi gets its price value from the exchanges, you're too far out of the ballpark, man. Yeah, because if pi opens for pennies, like everybody's talking about the exchanges. If pi opens for that, you've cut probably half the community out of being able to use pi, even selling it on the exchanges, because they won't have enough pi. Because you have to look at, to make it feasible, make it functional, make it usable to everyone, reachable to everyone, everyone has to be able to use it. And when you have a group of pioneers coming in, a group of people coming in that only have 1 or 2 pi, and it's down there for pennies, they can't even trade it on the exchange. 2 pi at 25 cents is 50 cents. They ain't gonna let you trade that. There's no way anywhere any exchange is gonna let you trade that. Not for 50 cents. It costs them more manpower to do that. Now, where I don't know, and I wouldn't advise it myself, because is straight up trade to trade. I buy pi direct from you, or you buy pi direct from me. I don't know what the legalities are. I don't know. My understanding is if you're going to trade crypto for a fake currency, or crypto to crypto, those kind of trades need to happen on the exchange, because they're regulated, they're overseen, they're audited, and it protects both sides. Now, with smart contract, I don't even know if it's doable with smart contract. That I don't know. But the way it stands now, there is no protection in place for either party. We make a deal on, I'm buying your pi, you're buying mine, whatever it is. We make a deal for pi for cash. What's to say that, somebody has to send, there's no way we can both go, okay, we'll send it at the same time. Not if we're not neighbors or next to each other, can get personally in touch with you. There's no way that we can send it each off at the same time and be comfortable that we're going to receive what we're supposed to on the other end. Because I could see people starting deals, getting into deals, coming to an agreement, and one side not holding up their end of the bargain. Yeah. I can see it. I don't want to see it, but I can see that happening. To where, if one side doesn't hold up on their end of the bargain, there's no place for either party to go to get reconciliation. There's no place to go. You're on your own. You are on your own. So, I don't know. So I don't want to say, yes we can, no we can't, because I don't know. I just wouldn't advise doing it. Because, pi is built on trust, but the way, where pi's at and what it's going, trust isn't in pi yet, for me. There's a lot of people I wouldn't trust doing business with. Yeah, I wouldn't trust them. I don't, because there's too many bad accounts, bot accounts, fake accounts, people doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing. And once that's all cleaned up and whatever, we're in the phase 3, and that's a different issue. Might rethink it. But I don't know like the legality of making that kind of trade, because it's in a, and I'm sure they will happen. People are people, and it probably will happen. I just don't know how advisable it is to do it. From what I understand, early in Bitcoin's history, yeah, those trades, people were hooking up on the street and doing it on the street and stuff like that, and they put a stop to it, from what I understand, because there were too many bad deals going down. People weren't holding up their end or whatever. There were just too many bad deals that went down. And Pi is built on trust. Its value comes from being built on trust. Yeah. Because, and I mean, because we can do something doesn't mean we have to. We need to grow up, take responsibilities for what we're doing, and be adult, man. Okay? Because we can doesn't mean we have to. That's kind of irresponsible and childish, man. And there is a lot of that goes on in Pi. You know? Especially when it comes to PC and phones and all, okay? Bots and all that other stuff. No, we can't do it. Well, I know how to, I can do it. I'm doing it. Well, okay, you're doing it. You may not be here. My bet is you won't be here when we go mainnet, because you did it. So, I get kind of tricky on that, whatever it is. So, to keep Pi on the up and up and above ground, because Core's not hiding. Core is never hid from anybody. And they have never hid from regulations. They've never hid from law. They've never hid from the community. They've never, okay. Yeah, they may not be real present. They may not be real vocal. They may not put out a lot of information, but they can all be found. They can all be found, and they are who they are. And they've all been around Chad. They are who they are, but they haven't hidden from anybody. And where we're getting, and what I see our job is, I think part of the issue with Pi and value and whatever is people can't see it being, they can't see it. They can't see it being used. They can't. It has to be seen, touched, whatever, to make it real. And until we can see it and make those trades happen, we are where we're at. So, at the same time, the dApps that are being built, the utilities being built in Pi. Congratulations to all the hackathon winners. And, kudos. Congratulations. Good job. I don't know how many projects how many dApps or projects that are being built, will be available to the community when we're ready to go. When we're ready to go mainnet. I don't know how many will be available. I hope there's a lot. Because we have 25.5 million people that need to be able to do something. Need to be able to spend their Pi, use their Pi, move their Pi. We need a lot of that. And I know the economies that have started are an issue with a lot of people, whatever. But they are started. They have started. They are. So, and to write them off and say, no, that's not part of Pi value. That's not going to be part of Pi. I think you're wrong. I think you did wrong. Because these people have spent 2 years, 2.5 years. 2 years, yeah, let's see, I was 19, 20, year and a half, maybe, building the pilots, to me, once the smoke cleared and whatever, and within the constraints that they have been operating, they have done their part of what their job was being chosen as pilots. Now, everything that's transpired between them, around them, or whatever it is, that's part of the issue. But because the in-app transfer didn't scale as Pi scaled, they were limited to what they were able to do. But to say that they haven't been doing or got things going would be a false understatement. And if they're not taken into account in pi value, is a gross misjustice. Because there are people, there are economies started, a few of them, that I know that I believe are trustable, that were set up and run by the chosen pilots. And so to not take that in is throwing away a year's worth of work, year and a half's worth of work that has got things at least moving. Now, I know may not agree. We may agree to disagree, but with what they've had to work with and what they are working with, they have transparent transactions that have happened. You can't deny that they haven't happened. You can't deny that pi hasn't started moving. Now, what all of these communities or these economies have valued pi at might be a sore point or a sticking point or whatever. And because people are under different understandings of what is part of the issue, and because some things aren't taken into account when people are setting value or creating value, that are overlooked, okay, as one of the biggest areas. And the biggest area is not looking. We have to start with the overall community. We have to start with the overall community. The value that pi has created is there. The support for that value is there. No matter what that value is, the support is there. We have to back it up and make it happen. But you need to start with looking at the overall community. Because as pi expands, and as pi has halved, and as pi keeps expanding, the pioneer structure is a pyramid. I'll give you that, but it has nothing to do with the pyramid scheme or anything else. It's just the way the structure is. 1,000 people at the top, that's a small group, earning X amount of pi for X amount of time. Then it halved. And then it went from 1,000 to 10,000. The group got a little bigger, but in a short time, boom. Went 10,000 to 100,000. And still mining a little high and whatever. But then they hit the next heaven, and boom. And as it's gone out, we have 10 million people. If you add up all the people from 1,000 to 10 million, that top group is real small. And as the base rate comes down, because we're half, the base of the community is expanded. It has less pi. And if pi value, buying power value, isn't high enough that they can use their pi, and these are the people that need to want to use their pi, need to be able to use their pi, because that group that is the driving force behind pi economy. If they can't use their pi, and if they can't use it, don't want to use it. The key is they need to want to use it. If they don't want to use it, then they're not going to use it. Then the economy stalls. And no matter what has been built to that point, it doesn't matter. Because if the economy isn't moving, pi isn't moving. Pi isn't doing what it is meant to do. Pi is looking to be a currency. Usable, stable, but it all happens with transactions. So I think that is part of where the difference in thinking is. Plus, I think one of the the bigger factor is some people are under the thinking, philosophy, whatever, their mindset is, all right, I'll open a shop. I have goods that I can provide pie, but I want to guarantee that I can cover my costs. Well, I understand to a point. I do understand to a point. But what I don't understand is if you were opening a business on the outside of pie, you were opening a business, what's going to guarantee that you're going to get customers to cover your expenses, to cover and make your profit right out of the gate? There is no guarantee. There is no, nobody can protect that. Nobody can. Okay? But if, I don't know how to put it to make it, if I believe in pie, and I'm working toward pie success, and I know what the payoff is, risk to reward, for and I'm willing to take that risk because I believe that I'll have that payout. It's a gamble either way. There are no guarantees that. But if we do our part and we make what we make happen, I will recover my cost plus. Because now, if you're looking at a value or price of pie so low, or value of pie so low, that the base group can't use their pie, yes, you will not make your profit back. You will not make anything back. You will not recover your cost. You will not. No, because there's not going to be enough traffic. It's going to come through any place. The traffic won't be there. A business owner needs the traffic to move their product, whether it's a good or service. They need traffic. They need traffic to make their business successful. Well, setting pie value high enough to the base group want to use their pie. If they want to use it, they will use it. If they will use it, if you have a product that they're interested, they will come to your shop. They will come to your shop. They'll shop. People will go where they get the best value for their whatever it is. They will go to get the best value from pie. So, I don't know. I mean, I've heard of some of the hackathon apps that have been built, but I don't know the ins and outs of all of them or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. Okay. If there's locations that is offering goods that we can go get goods. Well, if you have two locations and one is offering a value of pie at $5 and one is offering value of pie at $10, most people are going to go to the $10 place because they're getting a better value for the money. Yeah. So, those are things I don't think are totally looked at. Because they're thinking of, this is how others open on exchange. Pie's not looking to open on exchange. Value's coming from the house. And this is where I know run into with a lot of people. If you run a barter system, you can't, unless the money has value, you can't use the money for bartering. It just doesn't work. And if you get to a point where you agree on a value, whatever, over the evolution of the system, it will reach a point and level out. Like I've heard people thought, let the market sort it out. Let the market sort it out. Well, let's give pie a fighting chance for the market to sort it out. Yeah. if the creation of value is there and it's with everything that's in there, it's there. It's okay. That's the support behind the currency. Us believing in it, us accepting it, us using it is what makes the currency currency. Yeah, it's not trading on the outside. It's what we do inside. It's where we accept and trust and believe and do it on the inside. That's it. It might be out on intrinsic value, but it's all part of intrinsic value. It's all coming from inside. It's all there. You just have to get to a point of believing it, because there will be when pie can be traded, when we can actually trade pie, there will be more places, locations pop up independently. Not done my mind. I mean, I haven't heard of any as of late, but there are a lot of people out there that are willing to sell products for pie, but have no place to do it, have no location to do it. And I think we've gotten to a point, so we're relying on core to do that. And I mean, it's too late. It is what it is. And I believe that's what the pilot's job was, their goal was to do. And they've done it. Even though they're small and whatever, they've done it. And that also needs to be taken into when things move forward. I mean, pretty much everybody should know my opinion. I'm not going to put it out. And it's just a starting point to give pie a fighting chance on the market. Fighting chance. Because what I'm seeing, everybody's saying investors. Investors in what? Now, I have come to different understanding of investors. If somebody is looking to invest in creating a marketplace or creating a DApp or creating something for the community, then yes, we need all those people we can get. If they're just coming in to throw money around, that isn't what pie truly needs. Because the difference between somebody coming in throwing money around and somebody that's coming in and building something, the person who's building something is vested in the project. Somebody coming in and throwing money around doesn't care. They don't care. They're looking to get a return on their investment, however, whatever it takes. That I see the investors, because as soon as they put their money in, they want return, and they demand return. Look at all of these big money people and what they do in Washington. They're all the lobbyists. They're all the ones pushing whatever laws they want through, whatever backing they have. That's what the money does. That's not what pie is. That's not what pie needs. So that's where I'm struggling with investors and pie. There is no real place for them to invest. I don't know the men. I don't know. I know them from what I see on TV and what I read about them, whatever. But I don't know the men. They don't affect me one way or another. But with what pie is trying to accomplish, its goal, why do we want them in here telling us what we should and shouldn't be doing? When Core has built pie to give us the control back, to give us our financial freedom back, to give us back. And to just turn around and give it away to somebody because they have money. They're also the ones that set up the system that we're using that's messed up today. I'm not understanding it, and I'm not seeing the thinking or the philosophy behind. I understand the math and I understand that, but I don't understand the thinking about giving it away. Okay? If you look at value, what we bring to the table as value, intrinsic value, it's not going away. Unless we choose to give it away. It's not going away. It's there. The protocol's written. The app's being written. The apps are being built. Economies have started. It's there. It just needs some water on it so it grows. Okay? So, irregardless of what the difference is, what we think on what pi value should be. If, and I know it's not a lot of transactions, it hasn't had a chance to do a lot of transactions because it hasn't been able to grow with the community. So we're working with what we got. Transactions have been made, and will probably continue to be made because they've been around long enough that when people get the option to, they will. So, regardless of what you think about it, if pi is a certain value, and whatever it is, let's say $25. Pi's value is $25. My thinking is $25. And your thinking is exchange, and it won't open for less than $1. I mean, it'll be around $1. Let's say $1. It'll open on the exchange for $1. And you're okay with that. But it's proven. I have history behind that pi is trading at $25. Value, buying power value. Why? And this is where I'm not understanding the philosophy, the two different thinkings. If it's being shown and proven that it can be there, and there are people behind it, and it's moving, it's doing its thing, and to force it to where it's $1, it's giving up $24 worth of value. And it's giving up $24 worth of value, but we're going to work to get that $24 back that we may never get back when it's already proving. And if you're looking to recover costs if you're looking to guarantee and recover costs of what you're putting into into the products, how long is it going to take you to get them back at $1? It's going to take you a lot less to get it back at 24 than it is at $1. But that's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. Yes. In a value-based economy, not a price-based trading. Pi is the currency. Pi is the money. Pi. If the money has no value, it has no use. If it has no use, then it goes nowhere. So that's what I'm not understanding people willing to give up that kind of value. Now, the only conclusion that I can come to that people are pushing that way is because you're only thinking about yourself. You're only thinking about what you can put in your pocket, and only thinking about taking the profit away from somebody else. I don't know what other conclusion to come up with. Because you're convincing these people that this is the way it is, and this is what it's going to, and they're going to sell, and you're going to be there buying for $1. And taking money away from everybody in the community. I don't know what other conclusion to come up with. If there's a different conclusion, tell me. I'm open to hear, because I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Man, it's all the pieces are there. No matter what value we end up with pi, starting out, what supports it, will support it. Well, community has to support it. It's one of the biggest ones that has. I mean, if we don't as a community support it, then yeah, it's not going to be what it's going to be. But as far as what Core is delivering on their end, Core has delivered, will deliver on their end, and they're putting in place what it's going to take to support whatever goes on by. In my opinion, they just. And I mean, there's more. I hear more and more people kind of on the same page, at least moving in the same direction. So I mean, I give hope. There is hope, but you know, I hear people say supply and demand on the trading, yes, but I don't hear people talking about where they go to get the best value. I mean, in real world today, I'm going out to buy something. I'm going to go out and buy a car. Do I buy the first car that I come across? No. Well, maybe, depending on the car. But usually we shop around and go look at this one, that one, and see, you know, I mean, we have a whole criteria that we go against to see where we get the best value, get the most longevity, get the most whatever for what we're getting ready to put down on that car. I hear people talking about it. I mean, why do people shop at Walmart and why do people shop at, I don't know, some expensive store? Okay? Even rich, the wealthy, rich people, they have the cash, they don't have to worry, but they're even frugal. I mean, for the realm that they shop in, they go to where they get the best deal for their money. You know, they throw it away. So I'm not hearing from them. You go to the grocery store. You go to Save Mart and it costs you X amount, and you go to the local hometown place and it costs you half of what you're paying at Save Mart. Where are you going to the other place to get the best value for the dollar, for what pie, whatever the money is, you're going to go where the best value is. So, I think that's part of the change in philosophy, thinking that we can get to. It's not about price and buying and selling and trading on the exchange. No, it's about bringing sustainable value to the community. Because once we have established pi and we have established a solid value and have made it stable, trustable, usable, whatever, that's when we reach outside. That's when we have a sellable product to go outside the community. And that's where I think pi overall coin flow is too small. Because once we reach out past the community, then it opens the field. I mean, it opens even bigger opportunities, just a bigger game. And I don't know, I mean, there is a lot of pi, but I don't know whether it's enough to be able to get that kind of, I mean, I hope, we'll see. Okay. But to say pi needs to be scarce. Scarcity works for trading. Scarcity doesn't work for currency. Confidence is what works for currency. Confidence. Trusting in it, accepting it, is what makes a currency usable. Not taking away from it, and because all it does is drive things out of range. And when it comes to investors again, investors, especially in the crypto market and the way the crypto market works and the way what it does, is they love them swings. They need them swings. They need that volatility. Because if trading on these things, if it's not unstable and if it's not moving, nobody's making money. They need the swings to speculate, making money. Making money. Pi, on the other hand, the way it's designed and built and supply and everything else and how it's distributed and whatever, Pi should not have those swings. I'm not saying it's not going to swing, but what makes crypto today unusable versus Pi, or what Pi should be, will be that stability and instability. Because as a business owner, and if I'm accepting, no matter what crypto it is, if I'm accepting crypto for a product that I'm putting out, and over the course of 3-4 days, it could move, and small, 10, 20, 30, $40 fluctuation in 3, 4, 5 days, depending on which way it fluctuates, whether I've lost money or not. Because if we transacted for X amount of crypto, and then all of a sudden the price goes nuts, either they've paid too much and I'm too far over, or they didn't give me enough and I'm too far under. And nobody can build a business on that. There's no long-term projection on the business on it. You can't build a business model on it. You can't predict what your profit, especially if you start paying employees and you pay all the other stuff that goes out, and it's that volatile. You can't figure that far out because you don't know what it's going to do. It makes people leery of it. We take Pi and we get Pi stable, and Pi shouldn't fluctuate that much. So this week, next week, the week after, it's going to be what it is. Investors, big investors that are investing in crypto, aren't looking to invest like that because it isn't going to give them a big enough, fast enough return. Come on. Pi is like a long-term deal, man. Yes, it'll fluctuate, but it should be just a steady increase over time. Okay. So, I don't know. I'm not grasping what others are. I'm looking at it from a different perspective. I'm looking at it from a different angle. I'm looking at what Pi can accomplish. If Pi reaches its goal, it's accomplished something. And the stakes are high, and we only get one shot at it. We don't get this. I mean, it's not a game. We don't get to reset and start over. We don't get do-overs. We get one shot at this. If we make it, it's all good. If we blow it, it's all bad. Yeah, because we won't get another opportunity right now. I mean, we won't get a second opportunity to do what we should have done the first time. So that's where I'm at. All right, I'm out, guys. Later.